is a 2023 BMW 530e, and it's the best daily driver BMW you can ever have. Or at least that's what I tell myself, because this is my daily driver. This car comes with a B48 engine from the 520i that makes 500, in my dreams, 181 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque from the engine, and it's paired with an electric motor that makes an additional 107 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque, which means it makes a combined power of 288 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. But is that true? All right, so we are here to dyno my 530e. BMW definitely underclaimed the power numbers on this car. As you can see, this car is making 304 wheel horsepower and 476 Newton meters of torque. When BMW claimed that this car only makes 292 horsepower to the engine, what they actually meant is this car makes 357 combined horsepower. No wonder we beat a stock 540 with this thing. That's crazy. As you can see, this car does not actually make power claimed by BMW. BMW lied to us once again. In my opinion, it would make sense if they lie about the M cars, but like lying about daily driver hybrid 5 Series that is made for dads to go to work and come back and have like basic commute with is absolutely insane. A couple of years ago, BMW used to make 20i and 30i variants for their cars with the same engine. Even with the N20, they made a 20i variant and a 28i variant. The 20i variant had higher compression pistons, had a smaller turbo, it was weaker. Then again with the B48, they made a 20i and a 30i variant. The 20i had a higher compression piston and a smaller turbo, and it was weaker. I think a couple of years ago, they realized that they want to save money and they want to mass produce. So they put 30i engines even in their 20i models, which is exactly what's happened with this car. In my uneducated opinion, 360 horsepower calculated on dyno. This car has a 30i engine, which makes 250 horsepower, plus the electric motor. I think the math adds up, which means this car is an absolute beast, and it's probably why I can't get myself to sell it. Let's see how this car does in a drag race against a 540i with the B58 engine. So we have a car here that costs as much as a 530i or around there. It's faster than a 530i and it's faster than a 540i, and it sips fuel like you're riding a bicycle. Say what you want about 2 liters, this thing is absolutely crazy. So the B48 in this car is absolutely incredible. It is an updated version of the B48, which is much stronger. It has the same TU pump as the B58 TU, and the internals are incredibly strong, which means with a simple stage 1 tune, this car can make 450 horsepower out of a 2 liter. I literally am lost for words. I don't know what to say. I have a 330i G20. It is a project car. It is supposed to one day make 500 horsepower. Right now it's stage 2. It makes 290 wheel horsepower, and it still makes less power than my stock 530e. In terms of handling, this car comes with a double wishbone setup on the front, which is a very complicated system compared to the McPherson struts on the G20, which means this car is so obedient when you're turning corners. With a proper wheel and tire setup like I have over here with PS4s on the car, this thing is so freaking obedient. At any speeds on closed roads, you just have to turn the wheel and it will say, yes sir. It feels like you're playing a video game when you're driving the car because it's just so incredible and you feel so confident and you don't even have to do anything. You just turn the wheel, the car says, yes sir, and you just go. With the amount of power you have, you can never f up with this car. It is so incredibly well built. I don't know what to say. You don't even need to know how to drive one of these things, which is kind of like against my entire principles in life, but I mean, we don't have to worry about that. In terms of looks, this is the last generation that BMW's made good looking cars, and we all know that. We don't need to discuss it. These headlights look beautiful. The front bumper looks beautiful. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but this is the same look. I mean, without all the bells and whistles and the wider track and whatever of the M5 CS. I'm not saying I own an M5 CS. I'm just saying that this is like 50% there with half the engine and half the power and probably much worse handling and braking. It is not an M5 CS, but almost there. These are the headlights from the M5 CS, which we all love. I'm gonna get so much hate for this. The only problem I have with this car that I haven't solved yet because I'm a pussy is the wheel gap in front, because this thing it has enough clearance to clear some proper off-road stuff. But that's nothing we can't solve with H&R springs. I've done a few things to this car, like these Rexer 20-inch wheels, this wrap and this body kit, which is all plastic, but it's fine because it's not an M5. You don't need carbon fiber on a 530, right? We have a charging port over here, which a lot of people say is gay. I mean, it's 2025. I don't see a problem with being gay. On the rear end, this car has a much smaller boot than petrol cars. This is actually like quite inconvenient. To be honest, you can't even fit 2 suitcases in it. We have this charging cable, which you're supposed to put nicely over here. And people, again, they call this gay, but
you are gay. And being gay is okay.
Don't be homosexual, you know? It is not cool. You have extra storage compartment down here, which is very helpful because this is a BMW. You need extra space for your engine oil, for your coolant, for any type of leaking. You probably need some engine parts in front because if your charge pipe breaks, I mean, I would keep a spare one over here so you can change it on the road. You don't have to tow it. It is very useful. They thought about this because I mean, it is a BMW after all. So let's go ahead and take my car. That sounded quite good, right? Yeah. Out on a drive and see how it feels to drive because I've never driven it before.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Bro, that is incredibly loud.
Oh my god, my eardrums.
Hybrid cars are actually quite useless in so many scenarios. One of them being, if you're not charging at home, this car is absolutely useless because you're not saving any fuel. You're just carrying extra weight at the back, which actually ups your consumption. If you think to yourself, oh, I will charge outside, I will charge at the mall, I will charge at the gas station or whatever charging port there is outside, in most countries it is actually more expensive than fuel to charge your car at a charging station because the prices for charging are outrageous. Over here in Malaysia, charging at home costs around the same as fuel in my experience, and charging outside costs anywhere from double the amounts that it would charge you to just fill up your car with gas. If you do a lot of highway driving, hybrids are absolutely useless because you only get 30 kilometers of range and the car will run out of battery. You don't even use the hybrid system, so you're better off with a normal petrol. Hybrid cars are quite convenient when you do a lot of stop and go traffic, you do a lot of city driving, and you have a charging spot at home or at your office, which you would have to pay normal electricity prices for, not these charging station prices. And you may tell yourself, oh, I will just buy the hybrid, and whenever the battery dies, I'll just use the petrol. These cars are quite annoying when they run out of battery, because when they run out of battery, they will act like a normal hybrid and not like a plug-in hybrid. Your engine will auto stop and start 1,000,000 times a day. As far as I know from engines, most of the wear on your bearings happen on the startup of the engine, which is 1,000,000 times a day when the engine is off, when you're out of battery. And then on top of that, if your starter motor gets weak like mine has, which it will over time because of all the stop starts of any hybrid car, your car startup will be so rough. I have no idea how to fix it because BMW has denied my claim, which is an update for another video. It's not convenient. If you run out of battery completely on your hybrid car, you no longer have heating or cooling. You don't have AC, which is crazy because your AC system is connected to your hybrid system. It's no longer connected to your engine or whatever they have been doing for the past 1,000,000 years. Tell me how that makes sense. If you want to go on spirited drives on your hybrid car and you beat the out of the car, your battery will die out. And once your battery dies out, you will have 180 horsepower. Your car will no longer, it will not have any power. It's basically like you're driving a 520i without AC. It is not a good time. When you put the car on sport mode, your car will always try to keep 25% of battery or 7 kilometers. And if you're lower than that, it will try to charge itself using regen, which uses an insane amount of fuel. Your fuel economy will be worse. You will suddenly have the fuel economy of a fucking 4.4 V8 with half the power. A lot of people tell me, oh, I have a hybrid car and I only drive it in petrol mode. I press this battery control mode and it will always try to keep my battery charged, and it's totally fine. But to that, I will tell you that when you put your car on battery control mode, first of all, the car feels like shit, because it will always feel like you're driving uphill because you're putting more pressure on your engine. And it's just so lazy and sluggish because you're putting pressure on your transmission or whatever, and you're using that engine to spin that generator at all times using your engine, which means your fuel consumption will go up by a minimum of 5 liters per 100 kilometers, which means you will suddenly start using as much fuel as a 4.4 liter V8 in your 2 liter B48 530e with half the power. And then a lot of people are like, oh, doesn't the car charge when you're going downhill or when you're braking? Nothing that you would notice. Yes, if you're going up like up a mountain and then you're coming back, something like Genting Highlands in Malaysia, and then you're coming back down and you decide to take a chill drive back down, yes, it will charge halfway on your way back down. But is that something that you do every day? Not really. On your daily drive, on your daily commute, it has no effect because you don't even feel it. You're not like rolling down a hill at all times. Yes, if your workplace is up a mountain and then you can charge it at home to use electric power on your way up and charge it back on the way down, yeah, maybe that would be a good fit for you. But I think for most people that would not be the case. And the other problem with one of these cars is that when you get into the car in the morning, in a normal car, you put your foot on the brake, you press the power button, and your car will start up and your engine will cold start and your oil will start to warm up and get to your cylinder head, and you will build oil pressure and your oil will go down in viscosity. You will have less wear on your engine. Oil needs to be at temp. But in one of these hybrid cars, because they want to save the environment, press the start stop button and your car starts up in the hybrid mode, in electric mode. And then at 110 kilometers per hour on the highway, or if you have to suddenly accelerate, get out of a situation, your engine will start up with 26.5 degrees Celsius on a normal country and on a not so cold country. It will start up and then it will rev up to 6,000 RPM for you to get out of that situation or whatever. I don't think anyone would actually want to bother starting up their cars, putting their foot on the brakes, pressing the gas pedal to manually override a cold start. I don't think anyone would want to do that. So I went ahead and asked BMW dealers if they've had to deal with any of this stuff, and they said no. They've actually never had to rebuild an engine on a hybrid. They don't know what Germans have done, but it looks like it works. Doesn't make any sense to me, other than the fact that when you send your car to the dealer, they use 0 W30 oil in your engine, which is incredibly thin, which they use because they want to have less wear on the engine when the engine is cold. And at the same time, if you have less viscosity on your oil, it is better for emissions, apparently. It is not great for your engine though. I would recommend after your 5-year warranty and free service period, just put proper 5W40 in the car and do cold start the car when you get into it every morning. What I do is I cold start the car, I drive it on Sport Individual, which is a mode that I've created with only engine on Sport. It actually drives like comfort. The other problem is on the adaptive mode, you don't have a freaking RPM meter. It's so stupid. So again, Sport Individual, you have your RPM meter, you have proper like warm up and whatever, and the car feels like it's on comfort mode. So from someone who's had almost 2 years of experience with one of these cars, what is my verdict on one of these cars? Is it a good car? Should you buy one? Should you not buy one? Should you avoid it? The verdict is, it is a beautiful car that has depreciated a lot. I actually lost like an M4 in value of this car ever since I bought it. Hybrid cars drop in value. This car has lost 50% of its value in 2 years, which is stupid. You should never buy a hybrid car if you care about money, because the amount of money you save with plugging in the car and using electricity to charge it if you're at home is negligible. If you're at a charging station, you actually end up spending more on your traveling than normal fuel in most countries. And the amount you lose to depreciation compared to a normal ICE variant of the car is stupid. It's just crazy, which means you don't end up saving any money. You end up spending more money to save the environment. And the normal B48 is actually so efficient if you drive it normally that I don't really know why you would need one of these, other than the fact that it has instant torque, makes a ton of power out of a small tiny engine with like the consumption of a B48. That is my verdict with this car. If you want to go ahead and buy one, it's an incredible car until you run out of battery and realize how much money you've lost to depreciation. I have a few problems with this car. There's an update coming in the next video, so stay tuned for that. But until then, if you like the video, like, subscribe, whatever. And it's been a while since I've made a video like this, so let me know down below in the comments if you want to see more builds, or you do appreciate videos like this as well as the builds. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.